6, 7,
Kurt Browning, three-time world champion, is changing his style. Fellow Canadian Elvis Stojko may be the only man who can stop him. The two waged war last month at the Canadian Nationals. In a battle royal, Browning reclaimed his national title, barely.
The moment came at our Nationals. 17,000 people, Elvis Stojko giving me a run for my money, and I felt right. I just want to be the best skater I can be. I have a chance to compete at the Olympic Games again. I'm healthy again. I'd be a fool not to try. I love adventure. I needed a change in my life. I might as well do the whole thing in one shot.
Elvis Stojko aims to be the spoiler, young, athletic, and confident, the martial arts expert whose name for Elvis Presley has the moves and the punch.
I think last year after placing third in Oakland, I think I stepped out of his shadow, and that's the turning point right there. So now instead of being behind him, now we're face to face doing our thing and going, competing against each other.
Without Elvis pushing me, who has to do triple-triple combinations? Who has to really try and sell Casablanca to the audience, to the judges? Who cares? Just go out and skate, get the medal, go home. I need Elvis.
Everyone's equal, and we go out there and duke it out on the ice and see what happens.
Come out there.
So when Browning enters the ring in Prague, he'll be thankful he'll have more than himself to fight.
You're getting away. That's it. That's it.
And one of those who will challenge in Prague, the new U.S. champion Scott Davis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
21 years old, right after winning the national title. It's been a big 1993 already for you. You've seen Browning and Stojko perform. You watched their Canadian championships. What's your reaction?
I thought they were both great. They're both really good jumpers, and the audience was amazing. It was like a world championship right there in Canada. So I'm just going to Worlds and just going to compete against them, and just really excited to be on the same ice with them.
You feel the pressure of being national champion, or is it the attitude of Browning and Stojko almost like there's no one else competing in Prague? Maybe you could create a surprise of your own.
Maybe I could. I think they've seen tapes of me, and watched me skate a little bit, so I'm just going to go there and have a good experience and enjoy it.
Now, you've been skating here at Broadmoor 2.5 years. You're from Great Falls, Montana. Misha Petkovic, he brought America some thrills in figure skating, so there's some tradition there. What is your focus as you look at Prague with just a few days left? Is there anything you're honing at this particular time?
Right now, I'm just working on the complete routines, the whole package look, and just polishing it up a little bit. Nothing's changed since the Nationals. And I just want to go there and have a good experience, and just enjoy it.
Well, Scott Davis is following in the footsteps of Brian Boitano, looking for Olympic and world success as a U.S. men's champion. And there's someone following Victor Petrenko's skating patterns as well. A teenager from the Ukraine who performed well in Helsinki.
Welcome to the 93 World Figure Skating Championships in Prague and the men's technical program. Elvis Stojko is on warm-up, and before he skates, let's find out what makes the skater they call the Terminator tick.
I've been always the one who went out there and just did full-out programs, full-out sessions. I don't hold back. I don't half do it. I don't half do this. I got to do the whole thing or I won't do it at all.
The strongest thing he's got is a stamina to be able to continue with that knockout punch from one moment to the next. And he's got just that there's not a moment in the program that the impact isn't there. He just keeps coming at you and at you and at you. Of course, this is the way he trains, though.
And I think in anything that I do, I want to be the best that I can be at it. And with skating, if that means that I can be the best at it by doing my best, then, I'm going to go for it all the way.
I know that his awareness level is amazing, and when he talks to me about something doesn't feel quite right, I can help him align his own body back into the total position and then mold that into the pattern of the jump, as I would say, and he can just take that and just mold himself into allow the jump to happen.
As long as I know what the feeling is for the jump, I can adjust to that, or I can almost, I'm very flexible with the technique that I have, and on some days where it's not going well, I'm going in a little bit off, I can correct it as I'm going up, and then once I hit the air position, I'm okay. As long as I correct it and feel right before the air position, I'm okay.
Emotionally, he is a kind of guy that will like to, the only way you can operate is to be yourself. And to be yourself, you got to make sure that your own anxiety level is in a level that you can operate, which will allow you to do your job.
Well, I've been asked things about, do you think you've come out of Kurt Browning's shadow? Do you think you're head-to-head with him now? And I think I came out of Browning's shadow about a year ago after the World Championships, standing up on the podium saying, hey, the two best guys are right beside me. I think I can contend with this. I think this is a real good realization that I'm a contender here, and you know, no matter where I'm going to be, I'm still going to be a contender. And that's the sort of attitude I have to take to be confident enough to challenge these guys. Overall, that's part of it, but Kurt's been around for a while. He's been three-time world champion, and you don't knock off a three-time world champion just like that.
Elvis Stojko, Canada. Well, you don't knock off the champion just like that, but that doesn't mean Elvis Stojko doesn't think it can be done. Here's the 20-year-old from Richmond Hill, the world bronze medalist, and for the last 4 years, the silver medalist in Canada.
Well, Elvis has been a machine here all week in practice. He was doing quad toe, triple toe combinations and quad lutzes, which have never even been attempted in practice, let alone landed.
Triple toe. He executed a triple axel double toe with a turn in between, which will result in a small deduction because there's to be no hesitation at all. One jump right up into the next. Should never have been a problem for him out there. And as I've been watching him skate, his facial expressions have been such that it looks like he's really had trouble concentrating or focusing out there. He just didn't look like he felt as secure as he should have been going out there for this competition.
Well, he just didn't look like Elvis to me. He wasn't sure of himself. Even on the footwork, he had a little minor error, and he just didn't have the confidence that we've seen so far this year.
No, there was no attack. That's what I thought was missing. Here we're going to look at the opening combination. Triple axel, late on the check. You see the left hand come around, couldn't check it, and then up into the double toe.
He's also really close to the boards there. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
And here's the double axel. Outside the circle with his body position, and no way he could land it.
Well, this is certainly going to put him out of contention unless the other skaters really make some mistakes as well.
He's looking at least a minimum of a 0.4 deduction for the mistake in both of those jump elements.
Doug and Michelle Lee, his coaches, we saw the profile, and the key words, consistency and attack, and it really is out of character to see that kind of technical program from Elvis Stojko.
Well, he's always got complete concentration and body control, and I think that has something to do with his background in martial arts training. But once in a while, you have a performance like this one when you just can't get it together.
You heard Doug mention that it was a tough one, and it could get even tougher when these marks come up. Skating number 13 in the order. Was it unlucky? Well, the first set of marks, and 4.6 from the Russian judge, and they worked their way up to 5.4 from Elizabeth Clark of Canada. A lot of great skaters to come, though, and this could really put Elvis in a big hole.
Yeah, getting 3 marks in the 4 range in this program is a sign of digging himself into a fair bit of a hole.
All right, here come the artistic marks, and this is a rare skate for Elvis when the artistic marks come up. But the ordinals tell the story. He has a first-place mark from Great Britain, Canada, Finland, but he has an 8th-place mark from Russia, 5th place from Norway. He is first, but most of the big contenders are still to come.
Innovative, quite different from what you'd expect in competition. Browning delivered with a terrific effort.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one who's ever competed to the music of Led Zeppelin. It's called Bonzo's Montreux.
breathless 2 minutes 40 seconds non-stop skating action, Browning's technical program that vaulted him toward another world title. That was brilliant.
Elvis Stojko's like the guy hanging over the cliff, and he hasn't been pushed over yet. Still third. And if he finishes in the top three, he can win the free skate and win gold. But here is one of the skaters who could push him over the cliff, at least down a notch into fourth. Mark Mitchell, the silver medalist from the United States, fifth at the Worlds in Oakland last year.
Well, Mark has always been under the pressure as the kid who has to come from behind. For a number of various reasons, he missed making the U.S. national team until last year, when many thought he should have been on it at least 2 years ahead of that. So he's used to being the underdog.
He has troubles with this triple axel. Here it is.
Whoa! I'd have to see that on replay, but I don't know whether he touched down with the free leg on the double toe loop. But he certainly persevered to get it done.
Very easy triple loop jump. That almost looks like a double. Jumps are done. This is where Mark excels. He's got great style, great footwork, a great presence on the ice.
Technical program for Mark Mitchell, and I'm sure that is going to definitely affect Elvis Stojko's placement when the marks come out.
Well, even if there was a touchdown on the combination jump, this was a quality performance from beginning to end. The spins were great, the footwork steps were great. It really was a great piece of choreography.
Here we have a look at that combination. There's the triple axel. He might have touched down there. Actually, I think he may have touched down on the triple axel and not on the double toe, as I'd initially suspected.
Here's the triple loop. Doesn't get great height, but boy, he just turns with such ease and just makes it look very easy.
And we'll be back with the march for Mark Mitchell of the United States when we return to Prague after this.
So wonderful.
We're back in Prague. Mark Mitchell just asked Coach Veronica Gladstone what combination he did. He wasn't sure. There are the technical marks. The judges weren't uncertain. 5.4s, up to 5.8 from the Russian judge, 5.7 from the Finnish judge.
Well, Barb, your observations about the look that Mark has, and he has a package. It's much like Kurt Browning. Of all the men here, they are perhaps the best two packaged men at this competition.
Now the artistic marks. There's a perfect 6 from the Russian judge. And with it, a first-place ordinal. seconds, 2/3. Hold on, because Mitchell's second now behind Browning, but down goes Stojko to fourth. What a skate by Mark Mitchell. And we're going to have fun in the long program. Mark Mitchell of the United States making his play. Last of 24 skaters from 18 republics or countries in this men's technical program. The three-time French national champion, Eric Milot, a bronze medalist at the Europeans in Helsinki, but like his teammate Candelaro, a history of 4 technical programs.
And also, like his teammate Candelaro this morning, was very off on practice.
Eric makes a change from the Europeans. He elects to do the triple Lutz combination, put his hand down in between, and there is going to be a deduction for that.
Well, you wonder if he had heard about all the mistakes out here today and then decided to go a little bit more safe.
The problem with that is that if you don't execute it, what you've done is you've immediately lowered your base mark. You're trying a less difficult combination, and then you miss it, your marks are even lower still. Both of the French men have held true to form. They've both made mistakes in the technical program as they did at the Europeans, which virtually eliminated them at the Europeans from winning the event. And yet here, with the same type of mistakes, they got lucky at Europeans. They won medals, but I don't think they can pull it off here now with this performance. Here we see his perhaps nicest element, triple flip. Perhaps just beautiful. Textbook example of how to execute it.
And we'll be back with the marks for France's Eric Milot right after this. Welcome back to the Sport Hall in Prague as we get the technical marks for Eric Milot, the French champion, and they'll be pleased with these. A 5.0 from the American judge all the way up to a 5.5 from the judge on the other end of the panel from Great Britain. And that could be a problem for Elvis Stojko, who sits fourth at the moment, but might lose a spot. Now the artistic marks, and the French camp certainly likes these. The artistic marks go up from one of the 9 judges. Let's check the ordinals. They have 5 fourth-place marks from Great Britain, Germany, Norway, the Czech Republic, and Finland, up to a 10th from Canada. The Americans seed them 8th, but overall, Eric Milot of France is in 4th place, bumping Elvis Stojko to 5th, as we join Brian Williams with Mark Mitchell of the United States. Mark Mitchell from Hamden, Connecticut, which isn't far from New York City. A magnificent program. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, viewers at home always hear athletes say, yeah, I expected to do well. Level with me. Do you ever expect to get a perfect 6?
Well, it's been my goal for the whole year, but I didn't expect it this afternoon. But it's really exciting to get one, and I'll take it when I can.
Well, you got one indeed. You're in a great position to challenge Kurt Browning tomorrow night. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark Mitchell and Kurt Browning go head-to-head tomorrow night in the men's long program. So a great technical program for the 3-time world champion Kurt Browning of Canada. He gets 8 of 9 first-place ordinals. Mark Mitchell rides a perfect 6 into second, and Russia's Alexei Urmanov is in 3rd place. It was a tough day for Elvis Stojko. He's 5th, and a good world debut for Marcus Christensen in 12th place. We'll be back with more of the 1993 World Figure Skating Championships from Prague in the Czech Republic after this.
It's like walking into a fairy tale, a place where Mozart could still live. So much that remains unchanged. It's more than classic beauty. It's a spirit that's magical. In another time, this was the pulse of Bohemia, considered the most beautiful city in the world. Composers, writers, artists, the great minds of the day were drawn here to be enriched, reborn, inspired by the grandeur of Prague. This classic canvas appear the greatest figure skaters in the world. American champion Scott Davis, young, untested, maybe overwhelmed. Tonight he skates for pride. Some will not skate at all. European champion Dmitry Dimitrenko of the Ukraine. He represents all those who succeed, falter, and now fade away. Others could arrive. Is this finally the time for Canada's Elvis Stojko? Can he leap out of the shadow of his countryman Kurt Browning? Or will the classic style of American Mark Mitchell prove the equal to elegant Prague? He's in 2nd place. Can he make it gold? And what about Kurt Browning, the man who seemed to dominate the sport, the king before falling? Can he regain the throne? Tonight, they perform a final program. Only one can be world champion. The historic city of fine art and stunning architecture. A 50,000 spires and 17 bridges. Prague, in the heart of Bohemia, the Czech Republic. The Sportovny Hala, this expansive sheet of ice, the arena for the 1993 World Figure Skating Championships. This is Dick Enberg with Sandra Bezic. And tonight, the champion in men's singles to be decided. Will it be the favorite and in 1st place currently going into tonight's free program, Canadian Kurt Browning? He's going for a 4th world title. The man who arrived in Prague as the most serious challenge to Browning faltered in the technical program, Canadian Elvis Stojko. He's a dynamic free skater, figures to move up from 5th place. And with a serious chance for gold, Boston's 24-year-old Mark Mitchell. If he's in rhythm tonight, it could be a 1st world medal and would send 3 U.S. skaters to the Olympic Games in Lillehammer next year. But first, the 1993 U.S. champion is on the ice, Scott Davis. Davis from Great Falls, Montana. A nervous fall in the technical program last night sent him down to 7th place. So he's now a long shot to the podium.
Last month, Scott won nationals, which was beyond his wildest dreams. But with the title comes the pressure, and it was too much for him in the technical program. He fell on the same jump that he's doing little twizzle, but not bad.
Sharks. Just 21 a couple of weeks ago, a son of a high school football coach growing up in Great Falls, Montana. Same city of some 16,000 that produced former U.S. Olympian John Misha Petkovich.
And he's a cool jet. He's so much more relaxed than last night.
From 7th place, a remote possibility, a medal here in Prague for Scott Davis, the U.S. national champion.
Program. Athletic Scott Davis has set the tone. The men's skate for world gold. The rest of the top contenders coming up.
The World Figure Skating Championships, presented by Reebok, who reminds you that on Planet Reebok, there are no limits.
Back at the Sportovny Hala in Prague, the 1993 World Men's title to be decided this evening. The final flight is warming up. Scott Davis His marks range from 5'4" to 5'7", probably not good enough to medal, but this first World Championship, a platform for what should be an outstanding future for that young man. Out on the ice, there's Mark Mitchell, his favorite all-black outfit, warming up. He's overcome some tough times. Remember, denied the Olympics last year, though he qualified, finishing third in the U.S. Nationals. And Elvis Stojko, the Canadian, trains in Barrie, Ontario. His program is packed with triples. Watch out, this young man skates with terrier tenacity. And the Canadian national hero, Kurt Browning, he's dressed for this high occasion. After 3 straight world titles, he finished second to Victor Petrenko last year. Son of a mountain man, his dad, an outdoor guide, made history in this event 5 years ago, hitting the first quadruple jump. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg, along with Sandra Bessick. The intensity, the drama builds, and if there's pressure on anyone right now on that ice, it's the Canadian Kurt Browning.
And for 3 years, Kurt has seemed invincible. But last year, his world fell apart, first with a serious back injury that affected his training, and then a 6th-place finish at the Olympics. A month later, at the World Championships, he struggled back to a 2nd-place finish. For the first time, Kurt lost his confidence. So this year, it's about getting back on the saddle.
And a man who's had to fight to get on the U.S. skating scene is Mark Mitchell.
Mark's a threat. He's a serious threat. Last night in the technical program, he was brilliant. They both were brilliant, but Mark was the one who got the 6.0 for artistic impression. Kurt's looking over his shoulder.
And over the other shoulder at his teammate, Elvis Stojko.
Elvis was unhappy with his performance last night, but there's a reason why his nickname is the Terminator.
And also joining us, 4-time world champion, twice the Olympic champion. She's been surveying the scene backstage. She's at ringside, Katarina Witt.
Yes, just before they stepped on the ice, I watched them backstage, and they definitely all have a different program to get prepared and to step on the ice. While Mark was hiding and I couldn't find him, Elvis got ready pretty fast. Kurt was sitting there, keep lacing up and down his skates, once even holding one of his skates in his hand, and it seemed like he was praying to it and then asking his skate to help him. This is actually what I used to do. And I talked to him and I said, you know, you really look relaxed today and you look like you're going to enjoy. He said, guess what? I'm really nervous.
Thank you, Katarina. There's Kurt Browning just moments ago.
Kurt's the kind of performer who's always affected by what goes on around him, and it takes a real conscious effort for him to keep his concentration.
In modern skating history, only 3 men, all 3 Americans, have won as many as 4 world titles. Button, Jenkins, Hamilton, Kurt Browning trying to join that elite group tonight. And out of skate from St. Petersburg, the youngest in the final group, 19-year-old Alexei Urmanov, 8th in the last 2 world championships. An opportunity to take a giant stride forward tonight. He is currently in 3rd place. Here's his chance at a first world medal.
Alexei is another one who's had a miserable year. Last spring, he broke his leg. He was off the ice for 3 months. But boy, can he jump. He opens with the triple axel. With that strong start, he's one of half a dozen guys who can successfully land a quad, and if it's in the program, it's going to be right now.
He went for it.
He sure did.
Deny a North American sweep with Browning and Stojko, Mitchell, all in position to medal this evening. He's the tallest of the final contenders, almost 6 feet.
And what a different guy from Europeans a month ago where he wasn't able to land a thing. Coming up, the triple Lutz. He's hanging on. Jump for all these guys is the second triple axel in the program, usually at the 3-minute mark. Changed his to a double. That may affect him more than the fall in the quad.
Alexei Urmanov said, "I inherited my temper from my mother. I'm not sugar." He acted as though he felt it was a pretty sweet performance in Prague tonight.
What a gutsy attempt on the quad. And I still can't believe it every time I see one. He manages to start tripling, start rotating as he's going up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just an inch higher and he would have had it.
And for technical merit, from a low, the U.S. judge 5-4 to some 5-7s.
Strong but beatable. You have to remember that he's only 19 years old. He's trying to fill Victor Petrenko's shoes. A difficult place to be in, but he's handled it beautifully here. The best performance he's had in several years.
And now the marks for artistic impression. Oh, look at the far right. The Russian judge, a high of 5'9". The U.S. judge leaving room for Mark Mitchell, who will skate later, a 5'4" low. Nevertheless, Urmanov in position for a medal, and Kurt Browning, boots on, boots off. The next time we see him on this Prague ice, they'll be laced on for real. Superhero Kurt Browning is to Sports Canada what Michael Jordan is to the United States. With more on the Canadian national treasure and his battle with the 1992 he'd rather forget, here's Gail Gardner.
By any standard, Kurt Browning is an unqualified success. He certainly put figure skating on the map in Canada. The three-time world champion is loved and adored in this country, but he had thought about distancing himself from the sport. But once again, the fires have started to burn.
You talk about voices maybe saying Browning should have gone pro. Maybe you shouldn't take someone else's place on the world team. But they're not the voices that are going to help me when I'm at center ice waiting for the music to start.
What does Kurt Browning hear? What does he see? A three-time world champion, 1989 Paris, 1990 Halifax, 1991 Munich. Browning had not only climbed the mountain, he owned it. 1992 Albertville, the Winter Olympics. After so long on the summit, to even consider that Browning might not win the gold medal seemed impossible. Kurt Browning finished sixth.
My goals changed from being a gold medalist to just being there and being an Olympian. And then finding myself sitting in the dressing room looking at my coach going, it's the first time in about 5 years I actually get to take my outfit off. I'm not going back out for a medal. And he said, no, you're not. It all came crashing down right there.
What happens when you tumble from the top? When you find out you are not invincible? It kept Kurt Browning away from the ice for 3 months.
It was the first time in my entire life. I didn't know where I was going to be 6 months down the road. I didn't know what my expectations were 2 years from now. I really actually had to make a decision for myself for a change. And it was a tough one. That could be the difference between silver and gold. Everything in my life is different. Where I live, who I work with, the car I'm driving to the rink. But you don't decide that in your life on purpose. Like, you don't say to yourself, I'm going to change everything on purpose to this mode. It just happens one by one. When I turn...
Talk about change. Browning moved from Edmonton to Toronto. That's like going from Wichita to New York. Got a new choreographer and an urban dance instructor. The whole team had changed. And it began at the top with a new coach, Louis Stamm.
That's great. Great. I don't want people to misunderstand that by changing everything, something was wrong. The injury is what caused the bad season and everything, and there's no fighting between my coach and I or anything like that. But it was time. I mean, you know, I'm getting older, 11 years in the same locker, same combination. I was due. I just needed a change.
So now everything seems well with Browning. He remains an amateur seeking a fourth world title and another shot at Olympic gold. But he no longer owns the mountain. Now he climbs side by side with other skaters, younger talent, like Canadian teammate Elvis Stojko. In the skating world, he's simply known as the Terminator.
What's good about it is I get another chance at overtaking him, which is good because he's still, everyone's eye is still number one, right? So instead of giving the crown handed down, it's more interesting to see if I can take it.
There's always going to be someone there, and I know that. And without that person there, I'm half the skater. Without Elvis pushing me, who has to do triple combinations? Who has to really try and sell Casablanca to the audience, to the judges? Who cares? Just go out and skate, get the medal, go home.
Kurt Browning, exorcising the ghosts of '92, now hits the icy reality of Prague. He's the leader entering the free skate, and his performance Tonight, to the music from the movie Casablanca, the Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman movie classic of the 1940s.
And he opens with a triple-triple combination. On the next jump, the triple Lutz Nemesis.
Son of Alberta farmers, little town Caroline. Nearest family was 5 miles away. Doing a Bogart in Prague, the Czech Republic, for a gold medal.
If he wants the gold, it's the next jump. His second triple axel. He's got to do it.
Casablanca to Prague, and as time goes by, Browning apparently still has the right stuff that makes him the best in his sport. He's looking for World Championship number 4. His marks when we return. Welcome back. Kurt Browning now looking at the scoreboard and the marks for technical merit. From 5.7 to 5.8, good marks, but not brilliant. It'll be interesting to see artistic impression with his...
The marks aren't brilliant because he actually only landed 5 triples due to not doing any of the triple-triple combinations. Only 5 were landed. The artistic mark will go up. Oh, wow! A 6.0. That's for the performance, and that performance took maturity. Everything he's been through, particularly in the last year, has made him a deeper, more sensitive performer, and that's the beauty of figure skating. It allows you to grow, not only as an athlete, but also as an artist.
And now Elvis Stojko, 20 years old, from Richmond Hill, Ontario, near Toronto. Canada's number 2 the past 4 years, a bronze medalist at last year's Worlds, a black belt in karate, as you've seen, was barely edged by Kurt Browning in this year's Canadian Championships in Hamilton. He's 5th after a troubled technical program here in Prague, but the ability, a very strong free skater, to move into medal position.
Certainly doesn't have the luck of the draw. Twice this year he's had to follow Kurt and 6.0s. But the last time was at Canadian Nationals and he skated perfectly.
Of triple jumps for Elvis Stojko, all hit cleanly. Midpoint of his program, trying to rally from 5th.
Halfway through his program, he's already done as many triples as Kurt. He was so despondent after his technical program last night. He sat in a corner for an hour and a half.
Including Mark Mitchell of the United States.
Second triple axel. Piece of cake.
Stoico. Oh, my. Back in Prague, Elvis Stoico's marks for a sensational technical effort. They're 5.8s, 5.9s.
No way. These should be at least 5.9 6s. There should be 6s up there. He couldn't have done any more jumps, and that should have been rewarded. Granted, the artistic mark will come down, and that's fair, but these should be rewarded.
And now his marks for artistic impression, and he admits readily that's not his strength. Oh, my, only a 5.4 from the Norwegian judge. Those don't compare to Browning, but Stoico, for the moment, does move into second place ahead of Alexei Romanov. His Canadian teammate Browning ahead, and Mark Mitchell now has to beat those scores.
These are fair. These are okay. What the judges are saying is that there's more to skating than just jumps.
And now the 24-year-old from Boston, Mark Mitchell. He's seen two brilliant free programs skated by the Canadian powerhouse pair of Kurt Browning and Elvis Stoico. He's in position for a silver, but it comes with plenty of pressure now. How will he answer it? We can add this. If Mark is third in the free skating program, he'll still beat Stoico for the silver.
Mark is known for his elegance and consistency, but not necessarily a killer instinct. He's going to have one tonight.
Very tentative setting up for that jump. Deductions on his first two jumps. A bad start for Mitchell.
The audience is cheering him on. There we go. Now you have to remember that judging from Kurt's marks and Elvis's marks, the judges are obviously awarding the big picture, choreography, spins, footwork, not just jumping content.
Which will serve in Mitchell's behalf.
Yes.
And and he's skating for more than himself. He needs to medal here in Prague in order to give the United States 3 spots in the Olympics in Lillehammer next year.
You can be sure Brian Boitano is sitting at home watching this.
And cheering for Mitchell.
Yes.
To the music from Don Quixote, brilliantly interpreted in 1976 by the British Olympic champion John Curry.
For inspiration, Mark studies old footage of past champions.
Final critical 30 seconds with a world medal, his first, hanging in the balance.
The guy is trying to beat Urmanov, also skated to Don Quixote. Will it be the choreography or the jumps?
I think that said it all. It was okay, was the expression on his face, not what he wanted totally.
He's not happy.
And now the agonizing time between his bows to this Prague audience and the announcement of the marks that will determine his 1993 fate.
He's such an elegant skater, but he's got to jump higher. Triple axel, just not enough height, no stretch on the landing, and that's what set the tone for the program.
Mitchell had problems early and not a lot of difficulty reflected now in technical merit. The marks range 5-2 German judge up to the United States and Great Britain at 5-6.
Can't stand on the podium without a triple axel.
And now he has to hope for very generous artistic marks if he's going to get to the podium and a medal here at these World Championships.
His performance was tentative as well, so I'm not sure.
And here they are. High 5'8", low 5'5", not good enough. Mark Mitchell has dropped to 4th place, no medal. And what that means, no third U.S. man to qualify for the '94 Olympics. Only 2 Americans will skate in Lillehammer. The sink of disappointment for Mark Mitchell here in Prague. But in contrast, Canada. Kurt Browning, Elvis Stojko, 1-2. And congratulating him, there's Donald Jackson on the left. He won the first ever men's medal in the Worlds for Canada right here on this ice in Prague in '62. And here are the standings. Browning, Stoyko, first time ever. Canada 1-2 in the Worlds. Urmanov takes the bronze. Mitchell 4th. Candeloro and Scott Davis 6th. And Katarina's with the winner.
After this tough year last season, you struggled for a couple months thinking, should I turn pro? Should I stay as an amateur? Do you think, was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad I came back. I mean, all I wanted was really to be like Brian Boitano and Brian Orser and improve in my skating. And after coming 6th at the Olympics and being injured, I knew there was no more guarantees. So what I did, I took the risk and it paid off. And now I'm going to walk out there and just smile my face off.
Did you feel you had to prove something more to yourself than to the world?
I had to, because if I tried to prove it to the world, then my skating wouldn't be mine anymore. And then what I did would be fake. So I had to do it for me. And if I wasn't doing it for me, then I shouldn't be doing it. So it worked. That's why it was fun, and I believed in it. And
yeah,
and the
it
people
seems like
believed
you
in it.
really enjoyed the program. You know, in the middle, you really enjoyed it, and you played with the crowd, and I just loved it.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, backstage, Mark Mitchell's coach, Ronna Gladstone, high hopes being wiped away. Not an easy time for that tandem. Stay with us. We'll return to Prague in a moment.